Hi everybody and welcome to my impromptu live stream. Let's have a look and make sure everything's running okay. It should well be, but just to make sure. It's looking
okay. It should.
There we go. Yeah. Well, hi to everyone that's in the chat first of all. Hello, Mr. Lumpies, Hyper Picker, and Caroline as well. Hi everyone. Yeah, it's a bit of an impromptu live stream. I wasn't expecting to do it. Well, I was obviously because I was in charge of it. So yeah, I was expecting to do it, but I didn't decide on doing it until like a few moments ago. So I thought I'd just quickly pop in and just share with you guys a little car boot haul. As some of you guys may know, Rebecca's gotten herself a part-time job just to help out. And the reason is we're still having some really sporadic days on eBay. So I'm not going to obviously sit here and just BS you guys. We do have some spotty days. Overall, the week tends to pan out okay sales-wise. But just to give you an example, yesterday I sold a whopping £10 on eBay. So I'm not going to just sugarcoat that. And we can't obviously afford to have too many days like that. And luckily, we don't have too many days like that. But yesterday we did. We had an appalling day on eBay. One sale totaling 10 quid. So I'm not going to say, yeah, guys, if you want to make loads of money on eBay, follow me, because clearly I don't have all the answers. I'm working towards it, and this is just to share, mine and Beck's reselling journey as we grow, and hopefully in a few months' time, she'll be able to come back on board full time, or I don't know if it's going to be a few months, or might even take a year, and I don't know how long it will take, but the aim is for us to both be running a successful, consistent eBay business, and consistency is the key, because anyone, like the saying goes, every dog has its day. Anyone can have a great week or a great month, but the key is to consistently do the sales that you require. And overall, like I said, the month always pans out okay, the week pans out okay, but we could do better if we could minimize these kinds of days. 28 people joining, so I'm pretty surprised by that at this time of day. We have got carp fishing, Christy Curtis. I've said Caroline already's in there. Hi Kaz, thank you for popping in. David McGregor, Fake Rachel, Avi George, Amanda OC, Wesley Lowe, Ken's in there as well. And Kaz, thanks a lot. We all get days like that, Z. It will change again. I'm sure it will change again, Kaz. I'm hoping it to, but that's the key. I just wanted to put that out there. But anyway, back to the positive stuff. Boot sale season may be winding down, but I've noticed there's been like a little a boost. Maybe people are like, oh, this is the last boot sale, so they quickly pop in and they do like the last boot sale and just add a few items, because I've not picked up a massive amount, but some decent items, and I'm going to share them with you. Yeah, Ken says, Yezi, the part-time money will mean more cash invest, definitely. And David McGregor says, much better time of day than at tea time. I'm glad you like this. I mean, it was a bit sporadic, but let's get on with it. I'm going to do some awesome haul sharing. First thing I picked up at the boot fair. So this is just from this weekend. I went to a couple of boot fairs. Some of them were naff, so bear that in mind. But I want to share with you some items that I love picking up and are really cool. First thing I saw were these caps. I paid £1.50 for the three, so 50 pence each. The first one is a Murphy's cap. It's a bit dirty, a bit of lint on there. And it's established in 1856, Murphy's cap. So like any fan of Murphy's beer or whatever that is, Breweriana, may pick that up. They seem to do well. And so that's like a standard pickup, I'd say, for me now. Now, this is pretty cool. This is a made in the USA cap. It's a small size. It's made in the USA, and you can see it's kind of like I think it's Confederate. I'm going to sound really stupid and ignorant now, but I think it's like a Confederate sign there. I'm not sure. I don't have a clue. But yeah, that kind of cap. I'm really ignorant on American history. Nick's in the chat. What's up, homie? Definitely. Kaz, it's perfect timing because you just finished watching Scav. Scav Life was brilliant this week, as always. Now this is a cool cap. I wouldn't normally pick up a cap like this because it's really dirty, and I'm not sure whether I'm going to be able to clean it up. I don't know whether that's chewing gum or something, but it's the first time I've actually seen a rollerblade cap. So this is actually the rollerblade brand. Yeah, it's the rollerblade brand, and you can see it's got the rollerblade logo there and the brand at the front. However, it is really manky. As you can see, it's got a big bit of like gum or something on the front part there. I can't remember the name of that, brain fart. And then there's like another similar mark there, but a rollerblade is something I've not seen, and it can be collectible. There are fans of stuff. Vintage rollerblades can go for good money, and yeah, I think that will do well. So that's my first pickup I want to show you guys. So that was 150, 50 pence each. Pretty pleased with that. Next item, I seem to be coming across these quite regularly. This is my second one within a matter of like a couple of weeks. It's an Olympus Trip camera. Now, this is a vintage camera. I'd call it a vintage camera because it's like a manual wind-up camera. You know, like you wind up and then you click. It's a film camera, obviously. It's made in Japan, super solid. It's got a lovely lens on it. It's nice and clean inside. Now, I have noticed that we listed one. These go for about 30, 35 pounds. If you're really good at refurbishing them or cleaning them out, you might get more. Some people are selling them for 40, 50 pounds. I paid like £2 for these. I'm not sure. £2 for this or £3, I think it was. I think it was £3. I'll say 3 just in case. And I've noticed that our listing is very low on eBay. Now, this is quite a good example. So even though this is a vintage camera, it's not good to list it as a vintage camera. These tend to come up much higher in the best match search if you list this as a 35mm film camera, which it is. It's a 35mm film camera, but I would also class it as vintage because it is quite old. I mean, you know, made in it is a manual wind-up camera. It's an old camera. It's vintage, but to obviously in the history of cameras, it's not vintage because you can get cameras obviously going back into the 30s and whatever. So you might get even older than that, obviously. So people might, but then you're getting into the realms of possibly antique cameras. I don't know. Anyway, the bottom line is it's better to list this as a film camera. I think I'm going to adjust my listing because it's really low on the search rankings. I'm not getting many views on it, but this is a lovely little item to pick up. Olympus Trip 35 camera, paid like £2 or £3. So that's my next item. Okay, I'm going to try to speed it up because I'm aware I ramble a lot. But by the way, there's 38 people in the chat, which is freaking amazing. It's for this time of day. Nick asks, do you test cameras or just wing it? Cameras like that, you can just mechanically test. And in the listing for that, I would put down it mechanically seems fine, however, has not been tested with film. So, if you want to be totally honest, that's what I'd put down. And that's what I've put down in my listing that's live is, it has been, because you can mechanically test it. You can check that the film door opens, that the wind mechanism's working, that the shutter clicks, things like that. So you can adjust the zoom and things like that. So mechanically make sure that it's working. And then you can put it's mechanically tested, but it's not film tested. If it's an electric camera, that sounds stupid. If it's a battery operated camera, obviously stick a battery in there, make sure again it works, and you can always put not film tested to cover yourself. So that's what I do in that case. All right, moving on. Now this is a pretty cool pickup. It's been a while since I've picked up any VHS, so I'm actually really pumped to have picked up 2 VHS this weekend, and really good ones as well. So I'm pretty happy with that. This is the first one I picked up, Panasonic VHS. It's in pretty clean condition. I've got some muck on it that I've put on it somehow, but it came with the remote control, and it's a Panasonic HV60 Nikon stereo VCR. I did pay for this. I think I had to pay £4 for this. God, it sounds silly when you say that. I had to pay up for it, £4. Yeah, I paid £4. That's cheaper than a Big Mac meal. So yeah, I paid £4 for it. It was cheap. I'm happy. Just because it's not as cheap as I have been picking them up, it's still cheap. So yeah, I paid, like I said, £4 for that. I would expect to get around £40 plus shipping on something like that, maybe a bit more. I've even dabbled with the idea of sending those into FBA where you can get a lot more money. There's talk of bacon and egg in the chat. Red sauce or brown? It's got to be brown sauce, guys. I don't understand ketchup with it. It's just not my cup of tea. Let's have a look. I'll move on to the next VCR. Okay, and this one I paid £5 for. So now we're getting into Burger King meal territory, aren't we? Burger King meal. So that is a Sony SLV SE740 VCR Nicam stereo. Again, came with remote control. It even came with a SCART cable, which is always helpful. I've always got like loads of SCART cables and things anyway. But so yeah, I spent a £5 on that one. Again, I would expect to get maybe around 40 plus shipping on that. And again, more on FBA. I actually checked that on Amazon, and there's merchants selling it for about £60. So I would assume for FBA, you could probably ask a fair bit more, maybe like £80. And I've got a feeling things like that do sell on there, but there's the added risk of the returns, etc. So I'll have to have a think about that. We're up to 40 people watching. Thank you very much, guys. Really appreciate it. By the way, guys, for everyone that's in here, I'm sure you all know Nick's chat is on this evening as well. So I'll be on there at 6 o'clock as well. So be sure to tune into that as well. Couple of other electrical items, nice small ones. Dictation machines. I picked both of these up for £2, so £1 each. And dictation machines are always a good item to pick up because you never know. They've all got like a basic value to them, as long as they are some kind of Nick says, stop rambling, you're interrupting our in-depth discussion about sauce. I've already given my view on sauce. It's got to be brown sauce, Nick. But like, these are really cool. Paid about, like I said, £2 for both of them. £1 each. They seem to be in good working order. I've yet to fully test them, but they will go fine. They're both Sanyo dictation machines, Sanyo talk books. Again, you should be expecting at least £15 plus for these off the top of my head. So some might go for more. And again, it's the kind of item I'm going to consider to ship off to FBA because I think it could do well for me. I think it could do well. Forget the sauce. What are people's feelings about spam? I don't feel much about spam, Wesley. I'm not really a fan of spam. Okay, moving on. The other next item I'm going to show you guys is actually a PlayStation 1, and I know that's kind of a boring, pickup. Really, I don't enjoy picking up PlayStation 1s. Less so when they're being, when they're charging. As you can see in this case, this lady wanted £15. Can you see that even? Jesus Christ! I don't know if you can see that or not. But anyway, she was asking £15 for the PlayStation. And I got her down to £12, I think, or 13. And the reason I was willing to pay it is there's a number of reasons. This is an audiophile PlayStation 1. These are becoming slightly scarcer than they were. Always worth looking at for the PlayStation 1 with the RCA connectors on the back. This is referred to as the audiophile PlayStation. Is meant to give very good CD playback. So back in the day, what people were doing is they were using this as a CD player, and they would connect it up to their amplifier using the red and white cables and just use it as a CD player, because apparently it was a very good CD player for the money. And bear in mind, this was when these were like 300 quid. So it was when people were into people are still into hi-fi, but that's why it's called the audiophile version. In case you were wondering, it's to do with the CD playback capability of a PlayStation. Being a geek, I've tested the CD playback capability of a PlayStation 1. I kind of did think it was good, but nothing spectacular. But anyway, I picked that up. Now the PlayStation, like I said, I paid 12 or 13 pounds. Came with a really mint DualShock pad with concave thumbsticks. Another really mint pad, again DualShock pad, or is it a DualShock or no? Sorry, analog pad. The analog pads, not DualShock. My apologies. Analog pad. Two really good condition PlayStation analog pads, and the Sony mouse. So that's really cool. The mouse alone, I think has fetched about £15 on eBay. Amazon FBA around 20, 25, maybe even more. So that's pretty good. Let's have a look. And what else did it come with? Now, the other thing that really topped off that bundle was this. It came with this PlayStation 3 game. So it's, it's really cool. Let's have a look at the chat as well. I'm trying to just keep an eye on the chat. Lots of spam chat. Carp Fishing asks, has reselling been what you hoped it had been so far, dude? And you enjoying it? I'm loving it. I absolutely love it. I was talking about this to Rebecca the other day as well. I think I've got a bit of a gambler in me in terms of my nature. I'd be the kind of guy that would just get addicted to playing roulette or something. And I think reselling, it controls that with me. I get that kind of buzz because reselling in a way is gambling. I mean, you take a punt, don't you? Like, I've bought this PlayStation for like £13 or whatever. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's going to make me profit because, like I said, it came with this game that's worth. This is Catherine on the PlayStation 3. I don't know why a PlayStation 3 game is with the PlayStation, but that's going to make me about 15 quid, 10, 15 quid, I'd guess. I think it's something worth along those lines. The controllers are going to make me profit, so I'm pretty certain it's going to do well. However, the gamble is, does the PlayStation work or not? If it doesn't, and I'm obviously not going to make as much profit. I'll still make some profit out of the other bits, but that's the kind of gambling. I think that keeps me grounded. I just love it. That's the buzz I need. So definitely loving it, carp fishing. So that's the next item I wanted to show you. Now, let's have a look what else in the chat. Is he not the guy that single-handedly made board game market crash or MX5 game? Nick Hill's rumors. David McGregor is spreading Nick Hill's rumors. That's pretty cool. And Nick is joining in with that as well, which is fantastic. Let's have a look. Next item I want to show you guys. Nice simple pickup, a board game. It's a puzzle. I picked up this puzzle and it's of Mevagissey Harbour. Not great value. I paid £1. It's brand new sealed. eBay, they're not going for a lot of money. People have sold them for like £6, £7, and things like that. Amazon is a lot better, but again, not amazing. But a sealed puzzle coming up to Christmas time. I'm hoping I should get at least a tenner for it, or around a tenner. So from £1 to a tenner, I would charge shipping as well. That would help me. Now here's a fail pickup for you guys. I picked up this Harry Potter Book of Spells. I paid £1 for it, and unfortunately it doesn't come with the game. I didn't look closely enough to realize that there's meant to be a game with it. I thought it was just the accessory, so I got stumped on that. It's probably worth about £1. So I paid £1 for it. It's worth about £1. No profit. That was a bit of a fail. Now here's a good pickup. Oh shit. Okay, I've started spilling bits of it already. I hate picking up board games, but this 1949 Totop is meant to be complete, but I highly doubt it. I'm gonna have to check through at some point. It looked kind of complete. I checked that the horses were there quickly, but the guy only wanted 50p. So I was happy to buy it for 50p. I've seen those sell for approximately, well, prices can be very low, but I've seen them sell at buy now for about £30 for a complete one. So that was really cool. Now this is something that I saw Nick and Andrea talk about. They picked up at their jumble sale. By the way, I've got a jumble sale haul to do as well, but haven't gotten around to doing it. Hopefully we'll do it this evening. Or, well, I don't know actually, but we'll see. This is really cool. This is a friend's side plate, Staffordshire tableware, made in England, and it's the original 1996 merch. Like, I think that's as old as it gets, pretty much. And It's worth not a massive amount. I paid 50p for it. I think I'll get like a £5 or £6 plus shipping. Ideally, you want to get like the mugs and the plates and everything together, but I thought it was worth picking up because it's pretty retro. It's pretty cool. And we are now on to, I think, the final bit, my final pickup. For a £5, I picked up, this is pretty cool, a Ninja Turtles battle shell van. These are always worth having a go at. The lady wanted a £5, which is a bit much, but she did say it came with some figures, and she wasn't lying. There are some figures in here, including I think these are all 2002, so they're not vintage. These are like 2002 Ninja Turtles. It's Donatello. As you can see, he's actually got his staff. That's pretty cool. And then there's Leonardo, who's actually got one of his swords, not his other sword, but that's cool. And then I've got 2 Michelangelos, so I could probably stick one of these with the van just to kind of add a little bit of value to it. But yeah, I've got 2 Michelangelos, and I got like a space hopping Michelangelo as well. He hasn't got any of his accessories, but still all of those figures and the battle shell van for a £5. And also it came with this really cool little table. This is, I'm going to have to find out what this is. But basically it's like a work table. So the idea is a turtle's working on his skateboard, and you press that button and fuck all happens. No, it's meant to flip. Okay, it's like meant to flip. There you go. There you go. See that? So you put it down. It's like a toolbox, and you flip it, and then it flips around, which is really cool. So that is a nice little toy. I'm gonna have to find out if that's got any value. I'm saying probably not, but £5 for that and all the figures, I'm really, really chuffed with. Oh, one other thing to show you. I love my wrestling figures. Okay, this is a wrestling figure called, I think it's Shawn Ambrose. This is a Mattel basic figure, so this is not an elite figure that I talk about. I paid 50p for this guy, and even though he's a basic figure, you should be able to get around £10 for him quite comfortably. So this is Shawn Ambrose from, like, there was a group called The Shield. Shawn Ambrose, Curtly Ambrose, Dean Ambrose. David McGregor is correcting me. Yeah, it's Dean Ambrose, Shawn Ambrose. Why in the hell did I come up with Shawn Ambrose? At least I didn't say Curtly Ambrose. That would be really far out. But yeah, it's Dean Ambrose from The Shield, on WWF figure, worth a tenner on his own. Even though he's not an elite, he's just a Mattel basic figure. So I think that is indeed everything I wanted to share with you guys. That's all my pickups for the boot fair at the weekend. And that is all really. So unless you guys have got any chat or questions, I'm going to call it a day. I really appreciate everyone popping in and saying hello. Thanks for the thumbs ups as well, guys. You know, a bit of thumbs up action would be welcome. Really big thank you again for everyone that's come into the chat. Like I said before, I will be on a live chat this evening. Well, Amanda Rossi, I'm sorry you've got a boob. There's no questions. I can't answer them. And I haven't got anything else to show you guys. I mean, there is stacks of like other shit in the corner, but that I'm going to be doing a haul video with Rebecca. So we're going to be doing that. But yeah, don't forget to catch the live show with Nick and myself on Nick's channel. So that will be good fun as well. Our usual weekly chinwag. You know, we enjoy doing it very much. I don't think there's any guests this evening, but it's just going to be us two chewing the fat, as it were. All right, guys, thank you for watching. I'll see you next time.